All right, guys, welcome to day 3 with the Xiaomi Mi 9T. Now, this is a device that was highly recommended by a lot of you guys. You guys said, hey, Jay, you really need to grab this phone. I think you'll really enjoy it. And the truth is, I have been enjoying it. It's a pretty impressive device. Now, I'm going to start with something. First, let me show you the fingerprint reader. Really fast. Really nice fingerprint reader. That is a huge huge plus that I think is over several other phones. My Galaxy A70, I showed you in the video that I like the Mi 9T's fingerprint reader a lot better because it's a lot faster. So that is obviously going to be something that I point out to you guys. So the fingerprint reader is fast, awesome, really, really good. Now, another plus about this phone is the screen, and it's a full display, and it plays content, and it plays HDR content. I always like to put up HDR videos, even though this phone is in fact 1080p, it is HDR certified, and it is just gorgeous to watch when looking at content. And you go here. You can see that it's on HD. You can put it on HDR, 1080p HDR. This is just, it's impressive. It's an AMOLED display, and it is just gorgeous for watching content. Full screen display is what people want on phones now, and this phone is coming in with a full screen display, no cutout at the top, because it has that camera, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But this is something that, let me fast forward and give you some color here. This is beautiful. Here we go. Let's get into some real color. This is absolutely great. This screen, it just produces colors so vividly, so vibrant, and it's hard to get it across on camera, but this is absolutely stunning, folks. In person, I think you would love this particular screen. So having the full screen display, oh, look at that. That's just crazy. That's beautiful. Not only does it have the full screen display, it produces the colors extremely accurate, and that's something I appreciate about this particular device compared to some other phones. And that's one thing I compared against the Galaxy A70. Even though that phone is not HDR10 compliant, it still can play. All phones can play HDR videos. Now, how it produces it is another story. This being HDR certified, it produces the footage extremely accurate. The screen is beautiful. It is just a hit with the screen. Now, all things can't be a hit with this phone. And one con, I'm going to call this as a con because this is a con to a lot of people, is the storage. You either get 64 or you get 128, and then you're done. This is a dual SIM device, and unfortunately, most people like to expand their storage now, and I'm one of them. I'm somebody who, if I can put an SD card in there, I'm going to do it, and it's important to me. So, it's kind of one of those things that it's a con for a lot of people, but not really a con for some people. And for me, it's a con because I have other phones that cost about the same or less that have an SD card. So, I would expect them to do that with this device, but they didn't for some reason. So it is what it is. But you do get 6 gigs of RAM, so that'll help the phone perform extremely well. Now, as you can see here, I'm obviously running my own launcher here, which is the Pix launcher that I get from the Play Store. It's a free launcher that you can grab, and it just makes the phone. I like this better. I like having the app tray by default. The Xiaomi skin, that's another con for me. I used to really enjoy the Xiaomi skin, but for some reason on this device, man, I turned it off immediately. I just couldn't get into it because I guess I've used other launchers and other phones, stock Android, so much since I've used a Xiaomi device last that it's difficult for me to get into the Xiaomi skin and really enjoy it. So, I just took it off. The phone runs fast with the Xiaomi skin, but, I just prefer this stock Android appeal. I just love it. So for me, their skin is not slow in any way. It's just not something I'm into at the moment. And I do use it, but I prefer my setup. Everybody has an Android phone. They set it up the way they want to set it up. Now, let's get to these cameras. So the cameras on here are impressive. But as I was going to say, it happened. Opening the camera app for some reason is super slow. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. It has that lag every now and then for opening the camera app. I don't know why it does that. but it in fact does almost every time. So open, 2 seconds later, the camera's open. I don't know why it's like that. Now, I'm going to point that out because that's what it is. So with that being said, you have AI cameras, you have 4K recording, you have wide angle shots, you have telephoto lens, and you have, more importantly, that 48 megapixel shooter on the back. You can get to it quickly, but just hitting a button right there. And I really enjoyed that. So with that being said, I'm not as impressed with these cameras as I thought I was going to be, but they're okay. It has to be like this perfect setting for it to be really, really great for me. The lighting has to be perfect, but you know, that's the 48 megapixel shots. In all honesty, the phone does very well in some settings. Most phones do well overall, and depending on if the lighting is right. But this phone right here, it needs a little bit of help in the photo section. There are plenty of other cameras out there that take much, and megapixels only count for so much, but there are plenty of phones out there that take much better photos than this phone. But again, I need to take in consideration this phone costs $300. So take that into consideration when you're considering this device. Not that it's bad, not that the photos are bad. It's just that there are other phones that take better photos and they cost less, or they're in this price range. The Galaxy A70 being one of them. In the other video where I compared the two phones, you know, I said I kind of favored the Galaxy A70 for video and this one for photos. But, you know, after some more testing, the Galaxy A70 takes better photos in my opinion. And the front camera is definitely better on the front camera of the Galaxy A70 compared to the Mi 9T. But the Mi 9T does have that famous pop-up camera. Let's pop it up. The famous pop-up camera. This isn't something that is new because Vivo done it. OnePlus has it right now. Oppo, there's a ton of other companies now who offer a pop-up camera, and that is a huge plus to having this full display. It is something that you'll really enjoy. Now, one thing to talk about is the battery life. The battery life on this thing is crazy. I mean, easily pulling in 7 hours of screen on time for me is crazy. It's a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It charges really fast. You know, it has this cool charging animation. Let me see if I can grab a charger real quick, if my anchor will reach this far. The animation is cool. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to get this to show you on camera. Okay, so let me trolling me here, trolling me. There we go. That is a cool charging animation. Really like this thing. This is cool, and it stays like that for a second and then it goes away, like, you know, opening the camera app. I had to. No, but in all honesty, battery life on this thing is absolutely fantastic, folks. It is great. You're not gonna have a bad run when it comes to battery. Fingerprint reader is so fast. This phone, I like it, man. I mean, you have to be honest and upfront about phones when you're calling them out. You know, the cons have to be there. So, you know, the picture quality isn't the best. The video is decent. The storage is not there. You know, you have to get what you get. But after that, man, you get a headphone jack, you get the full screen, the pop-up camera, you do get a triple camera setup. The wide angle is boss. You get a Type-C. It doesn't have stereo speakers, but I'm not complaining about that. It gets a pass because, you know, it has a full display in it. And I mean, look at all the other things that it's offered. Let's talk about LTE network real quick. I'm using this on T-Mobile LTE, and I will be using it when I'm traveling. I'm getting ready to travel right now after this video. Depending on when you're watching it, I'll give you another follow-up afterwards. But LTE coverage in the US is something that a lot of people want from all these phones. So I'm getting full service on AT&T, Cricket, T-Mobile, Metro. And obviously it's going to work on Project Fi. So you do your own research, folks. I'm telling you, Google this. Don't just ask a question. Hey, does it work in here? Does it work in here? Do your own research, because if you're looking at this video, you might be interested in this phone, or you're just here to support me, and you just happen to be watching this because a lot of you guys say, I've never even heard of this phone before. But reality is, if you want to buy something like this, you've got to do your own research, folks. You can't just rely on us to give you all the answers. We're not like your personal assistant or something like that. You got to do your own research. I'm giving you the foundation. You build the house. Simple as that. The phone works in the US on LTE, not Verizon, not Sprint, not Boost, GSM carriers. That is where you're at with this. So keep that in mind, folks. This phone is awesome, but that is a con for this phone because you can't get it on carriers. You can't just walk into a store. You have to rely somewhat on YouTube or Google or, you know, websites that sell these that tell you that it's good. So to the people that always say, Jay, why don't you put the links to certain phones in the description that you're talking about? The reason I try to do that when I buy things on eBay is for this right here. True story. I put a seller's link in the description of one of my videos, and a ton of people bought the item, right? The seller emailed me, thanked me, found out who I was somehow, thanked me, said he liked the channel, then raised the price on the product. I felt horrible, man, because people were like, man, he tripled the price now. I'm like, you know what? That's why I don't want to get involved. We're recommending sellers on eBay. I don't even want to do it with Amazon. I tell you, go to a source like a website like B&H when it's available. B&H is one of the best places, and they haven't sponsored me yet. I need to get a sponsorship from B&H because I buy a ton of stuff from B&H. I mean, a boatload of stuff. So I'm going to need them to step the game up and give me some kind of sponsorship. Just saying. But yeah, man, do your research and buy from your source. I give you the foundation, you build the house, and you build your own house the way you want it to be. You understand? So this is a hot item right now. I'm enjoying it. Has a few drawbacks, but this is a fantastic device, folks. 300 bucks. This is the Smartman's OnePlus 7 Pro. You feel me? Yeah, it has a whole bunch of drawbacks for a OnePlus 7 Pro owner. Then when you start comparing this to the OnePlus 7 Pro, obviously it probably doesn't really compare because on paper it outweighs it, but this is the smarter purchase when you put them in real world testing. Real world testing, you're gonna get fantastic things out of this phone for 300 bucks. You know? It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for more coverage on this phone. I will give it to you. Leave a comment down below of anything you want me to try to review on this thing, and I'll talk about it. I'll try to get a video out as soon as I can. Take care.